Hello folks, it's your humble presenter for the Borderless Africa. In today's episode, we're going to look at the spillage of Akosombo Dam in Ghana, which affected tremendously people, an ethnic group in Ghana, the areas of West Africa, which are in Togo, Benin, and a portion of southwestern Nigeria. The spillage, which a lot of people uh, think is deliberate, because for the first time the dams were open and the spillage was allowed without any prior announcement to allow the people to go to high grounds or even pick up their belongings. So they were just out of nowhere became a victim of the biggest flood in the history of the country. And as this situation is going and the hardship that the people are going through, there are rumors, or there is a feeling that the president and his government deliberately did this as a payback because the people did not vote for him. And also there's also a historical fact that the president's party during the time of the Gold Coast did not want, or the predecessor of his party at the time, of which his family were senior members of that party, did not want this territory to be part of the Gold Coast. So that is what a lot of people believe, that the president is just carrying on that anger and trying to force these people out of what they believe to be their territory. And without this territory being part of the Gold Coast, there will never be what we call Ghana today. And it's in his own words. We're going to listen to all the facts. We're going to listen to all the speeches by the president, by this professor, and from the parliamentarian of the area also. So we're just going to do some listening, and then we go forward from there. We would like you to like this video and then share it so that we can continue the conversation. We like to liberate our people's mind, and we cannot do that in the atmosphere of wrong and falsified narratives. So please bear with me. We're going to do some listening to some audio.
But there's also another angle to this, which came out in the remarks of the president when he finally managed to show up, having finished the grandstanding for Israel and Ukraine. And it is this: there's been a long-standing, this is a historical matter, there's been a long-standing disdain, even contempt, for the peoples of the Volta region, previously the Trans-Volta Togo. The elements in the Martineho, soon to become UP. Yes, you can call them. Did not want the inclusion of Trans-Volta Togoland in what was to become Ghana. But they don't want its inclusion in the Gold Coast. That was then to become Ghana. Because they believe that it would deny them an automatic Akan majority. And that is at the base of, there's a long list of things you can cite. Okay, even including to the region being overlooked in the scheduling of, is it road contracts or? Yes. Yes, so there's a long list. Because they believe that it would deny them an automatic Akan majority. And that is at the base of, there's a long list of things you can cite. Okay, even including to the region being overlooked in the scheduling of, is it road contracts or? Yes. Yeah, it's a long list. But if they had their wish, they would never have been part of Ghana. Then they will not have to struggle to win majority.
Americans
Overlooked in the scheduling of, is it road contracts or? Yes. Yeah, it's a long list. But if they had their wish, they would never have been part of Ghana. Then they will not have to struggle to win majorities, to a foregone conclusion. And that lies at the heart of many of the things that they do, the things that the president says when he manages to even show up there.
So that is a historical part of the argument. These are the facts that this territory, which was brought in to form Ghana, and without it there will not be any country called Ghana, would have probably had an Akan land or Gold Coast, because at the time of independence, this group of people, of which the president's uncle and father were a member, that is the UP party at the time, had wanted to name the Gold Coast Akan land. Before Kwame Nkrumah came in and everything changed, he stole the show from them and gained independence for the nation, and then brought in this territory, one half of Togoland, to add to the Gold Coast to form Ghana. Okay, so this is the reason why the president and his party and Ghana as a nation has a problem whether to develop the territory, because the territory is supposed to, after 55 years or 50 years of being part of a union with Ghana, supposed to review the union, the marriage. If it's working for the territory, then it can be renewed again through referendum. If the people felt that the past 50 years has not been very cordial, they could vote and then separate and go their separate way. This is a fact everybody knew. Rawlings knew about this. FS themselves in government knew about this thing, but everybody kept their mouth shut. And it worked in the benefit of the people who all the time had a plan to always seclude these people. Now let's listen to the president himself. Then we listen to Blackwell, the MP of the area, who himself, when people were agitating for the review of this contract, came on national TV and badmouthed them and said there's nothing like that. But now let's see how he is taking the heat when people were asking him to go back to his country. Let's listen to the president first for historical fact. The president was at the 67 or 66 independence celebration, which was for the first time hosted in this territory's capital called Ho. And for our understanding, it's not meant for any victory or anything special, because from now on, the independence of the nation, the celebration of the independence of the nation will be going through all regional capitals. So it's not anything special that they held it for the first time after 60-something years outside Accra. So let's listen to the president himself on this historical fact, how the Gold Coast and the Western Togoland came together to form Ghana. Let's listen to the president himself.
Always a delight also to watch personnel from our security services on parade, putting up spectacular drills. This year's parade and display of drills are no exception. This is the part of Ghana that has produced arguably the nation's two greatest composers, Ephraim Amu, composer of that great anthem, Nia Denyiba Lolo Lola, Here Assassini, who taught us to take pride in our culture, and Evwheh, composer of Ghana's vibrant and much-loved national anthem. Daniel Chapman Naho, one of Ghana's most eminent administrators, who at independence helped ensure seamless transition when the British left. The Reverend Ameto Wabla, that powerful orator who proved you could be both a priest and a politician. And Esther Oklu, Ne Nkulenu, trailblazer and industrialist extraordinaire, whose entrepreneurial spirit lives on. This is the part of Ghana that also gave us Komla Agbeligbedeman, Ghana's first Minister for Finance and one of the founding fathers of our nation, and the charismatic Jerry John Rawlings, first President of the Fourth Republic and Ghana's longest-serving head of state. The greatest achievement of our independence is the fact that we have wielded different ethnic entities into one nation. Although the Gold Coast was the precursor to our independent Ghana, it was a collection of disparate groups. It was the attainment of independence that gave us our common identity as Ghanaians. An important historical fact is that of all the different peoples that have formed our modern nation, it was only the people of the Volta, Oti, and parts of the current northern regions who had the unique opportunity to choose to join the territory that became Ghana at independence. I'm referring, of course, to the 1956 plebiscite, in which on May 9th of that year, the people of the then British Togoland voted to join the Gold Coast on the attainment of her independence a year later. Without that significant historical event, we would not have Ghana as we know it today. Today, we celebrate.
Okay, so you hear it from the horse's mouth that without this territory, there won't have been a nation called Ghana. There will not be a nation called Ghana. They will have named it Akanland, or they will have retained Gold Coast, whatever it is. They will have, if Kwame Nkrumah have not come, if Agbeligbedeman, who was instrumental in using his influence to convince his own people to join with the Gold Coast, it will have been a different name today. It was the same Agbeligbedeman, the finance minister, who went on a cash hunting in the US to fund the very Akosombo Dam in his territory. That is causing harm for his people today. So if anything at all, we have to blame Agbeligbedeman for selling his people out. Because the dam has been constructed on the territory that he's bringing to join the Gold Coast. This is what a lot of people are not aware of, because our history has been, scammed and twisted with wrong narrative from different angles. And the president himself is a walking contradiction. Okay, we heard that his father and uncles of a political party that was before the one that they formed today did not want what he was saying gloriously, did not want that thing to happen. And it was part of his policy. 60-something years ago, his father and his uncle did not want this union to come to play. And it was part of that policy he was executing, at the same time speaking about it gloriously as if he is for it. Okay, now let's listen to the MP of the area who was also playing ostrich when these matters arise. Instead of to fight for his territory, this is a territory that joined to Ghana, joined to the Gold Coast. Instead of to be an MP for his people and look out for their well-being and their territorial integrity, because we have territories that form this nation that just come from the sky, just landed like that. You see, here in the United States of America, every state that was stolen, every land that became a state, stolen from the Indians, came to an agreement. Okay, after killing the Indians and put them in some reservation and taking over 99% of the land, it was individual European nations who took this land. Now, they have to put it together. They fought a war to put it together. Everybody came to the table with his stolen land, called Massachusetts, called New York, called Pennsylvania, called Texas. In Texas case, Texas, as they call it, as the Lone Star, in the case of Texas, Texas should have a provision within the Constitution of joining this land together called the United States of America, that if things are not working for them, they have the obligation to leave. They will secede. It's part of, they put that one over there. So Texas don't play. Texas do not play with what they call the United States of America. If things are not working for them, they say they are ready, they'll go. So when Clinton came to become a president, and he wanted to visit Texas, and the Texas people, the people of Texas, their politics do not agree with Clinton in so many other ways, they asked him not to come. But we are not here to discuss United States of America, but I'm just saying that every nation that is put together, there should be an agreement of the people whose land that form the nation. Nations don't fall, boom, from sky and be sanctified by God that everything will be pretty. So if those agreements are not there by the rulers, by the traditional people, by the people, if the traditional people are being bought, kick them out, and the people are the land is the people, not their leaders who are selling them out. So now let's listen to the MP of the area who has been playing ostrich, as if all is glorious, all is, until they are telling him to move his people to wherever. Now let's listen to Ablakwa Okujeto.
To relocate. They don't, in terms of permanent relocation. Yeah. So there's some level of living with the water, etc. How should VRE, the National Disaster Management Organization, key stakeholders, perhaps take this seriously? Because we can't say that all the communities should just relocate to where? There's no extra relocation where. Yeah. So how should this be done going forward, post the recovery period?
I'm glad that you have done enormous research in that department. I also get really upset when I hear people on radio, on TV say, oh, but let them relocate, as if, we were dropped from Mars. This is our land. We've always been here. I mean, we had to offer land for Akosombo Dam to be built, for the Pond Dam to be built. My forefathers had to do that. And you talk as if, we don't have stakes. It's not our land. We were here long before you decided to come and construct these dams. People must recognize that fact. So it's not as if you had your dam, we had nothing to do with it, it's not our land, and we are encroachers. No, people should understand their history, should know their country. Having said that, look, we're talking as if it is not our land, we don't have locals here. So we need an engineering solution where we rechannel the course of the water, so that if you must discharge excess water, you do it scientifically. It goes into our farms. We have irrigation.
So now you listen to three different historical facts. One from the president, one from a professor, and one from the MP who was playing ostrich when, activists were trying to, remind the government that these documents that they have, this agreement that they have, need to be reviewed, because they are not, in fact, seeing any development in their lives. And there are so many clauses when this territory was added to the Gold Coast that mineral resources in the territory can be touched by the central government, which is Ghana government, on behalf of, until the people are, they review. So there were no development in the area. Rawlings was the longest a native of the area, longest serving president over 20 something years. He knew about this thing. But everybody's, was, especially the expert in politics, were thinking, oh, we don't have to muddle the water. We have to stay quiet. We have a share interest here. We marry from this tribe. We marry each other. But marriage from each other is not cutting it, because this is a United Nations situation. You see? And then criminal politicians, who knew about this, that we don't have to develop this place, but the people are paying taxes. Aflau border is, according to the revenue calculations, is second to Tema Harbor. Second to Tema, it's not a harbor, it's a border town. Second to Tema Harbor, not Takoradi Harbor, which is the second port in Ghana, but Aflau border, which is not a port city, is second to the port of Tema in terms of revenue collection. But when you look at Aflau, there's nothing there. You see, so this is a criminal element in politics. Take advantage of the whole territory. No financial incentives, no nothing, and they feel that they have the power to loot the nation for themselves because they believe they are the majority. Being the majority allow them to steal and leave this territory, because in somewhere around in their mind, with all these secret government files and United Nations files, they knew maybe one day this territory will be on its own. So no development, no nothing. But the people are paying taxes, and criminal elements in politics take this money for themselves. You see, so when the people say the 50 years has passed by, let's review these things, the government said they are, all kind of names have been given to them, that they want to secede, and it's against the nation, it's against the laws of the nation. But every ever politician, including Rawlings, knew about this thing. You see, it's only one former parliamentarian from the territory who have the tenacity to be vocal about this thing. Instead of the Evwheh caucus in parliament to stand up for their territory. No, but other people who don't feel that they belong, digging them in, looting the state, with impunity. Now, when this disaster occurs and the people have nowhere to go, they are telling them to relocate. Now the MP found his history. Okay, Ablakwa found history now to tell that this has been our town. This has been our land. We brought this land into the Gold Coast. Now you are now narrating the history, but the history has been falsified over the years, that people will tell the Evwhs in Ghana that they should go to Togo. That is one half of the territory. They're already in Togo. You see, the people are already in Togo. The people of Sogakope are already in Togo. The people of Bato are already in Togo. You see, so telling them to go, that means, well, secede. Telling them to go to Togo means take your land and bye-bye to Ghana. And then the Akans can have their Akan land. You see? So now the story has been falsified. The narratives have been, all muddy. Now that Ablakwa Ukujeto knew that he had to narrate his history, it is too late, Mr. MP. But now going on, you have to be an activist for the people. Don't play politics. All you've been doing, Ablakwa has been doing, is playing politics of how Akufo-Addo is, the president is mismanaging the people's purse. You're doing Ghana politics. That is not helping your people. How much is been spending on a private jet, that is not your business. Yeah, to me, that is not your business. Fight for your people. You may say, well, it's my business to look, but, you have never, actively, you have to be an active MP for your people, for the land that they contributed to form Ghana. Since independence, in most African nations, the traditional people whose land it is have never come together in any country that the British or the French have given independence to say, now let's talk about how we can coexist. This is my land. This is what is on it. What you got, what the Akans got, what the northern people got, what the Nzima people got, what these brown people got, this is your land. You have to have authority. How are we going to manage it? So that we can have some autonomy over the economy and the ecology of the land that we are part of. You see, that conference has never been held in any country. The only person who organized the rulers, the kings and the rulers of Africa was Gaddafi for the first time, because he knew the land belonged to them. You see, so going forward, our people who have been marginalized in Ghana, this is not a hearsay no more. It has been shown. It has been through this disaster. It has been shown that the government really don't care. And the government tell the people that I'm not your people. You didn't even vote for me. You see, so now we're coming back to 1956. The truth that nobody want to talk about is bringing its own heads out, that we have to be forced. We have to be forced to talk about it. We have to be pushed to talk about what we don't want to talk about before. Because the president's body language, narrative, people around him are, karma is a bitch. You see, karma can be a bitch. Sometimes things can work on your favor. What they don't want to discuss now is in the open domain. You have to voice, you have to have opinion on this going forward. Do we need a federation? Do we need to talk about the union? Is there any document out there? The documents are there. Do we need to talk about it? Yes, we need to talk about it, because people felt they've been left behind by their own government. And their own government said, you are not of our people. The government machinery, they've been saying it in private places. They've been saying it once in a while. They said it. But now, this disaster will force the government and the MPs overseeing these territories have to come out and be sheepish and cease to be, a lapdog, cease to be just, MP collecting salary. That's not what the people send you. The people voted you there to protect their land, to speak on their behalf and bring the pie home. Anytime they give you a piece of that pie, it ends up in your pocket. All of you have businesses. All of you have big houses that perhaps your salaries wouldn't have been able to, set up these mansions. Most of you have multiple businesses, multiple mansions. Your salary alone cannot do this. So what are you using the people's money for? And going forward, you have to speak for autonomy, economical autonomy for the people. How good it is that we are living in a country and only one person could sweep the whole Ghana, called Zoom Lion. Why? Why give a whole nation sanitation contract to one person? Out of the 10 regions, now another 4 regions have been added to it to make 15 or whatever, is it 14 or 13 regions? Why only one person? Why? You see, so these are the things, we're practicing financial apartheid, and we want to talk about Israel's financial apartheid. We want to talk about the apartheid of the pre-Mandela South Africa. But we don't know that we are practicing financial apartheid in our own various nations. Alienating people financially. How could they become rich when they can source government contracts simply because they don't belong to the right ethnic group, or they don't belong to the right ethnicity or the political party, and one person can sweep the whole Ghana? How effective that could be? You see? And that is just one example of government contract, going to one person. And there are so many examples of that, of alienating a whole lot of people who are contributing. Anytime you go and buy anything, they take a tax on it. Cocoa is not cutting it. We shouldn't even be talking about gold and diamond, because there's no money coming from those areas either. The British are taking it just as the French are taking what is belonging to the Francophone. The British are taking the gold, and the cocoa, they are not paying anything. If the French are paying 80 cents for uranium and sell it in a world market for 200 euros, which is more than $200, how much do you think the British are taking your cocoa? Do you think they're going to pay you better when the French are exploiting Niger and the rest of the Francophone? These are brothers. They share ideas. You see? Do you think they're paying you good money for your cocoa and diamond? If the French can get away with it, do you think you could get away with it with the British? And these are things we need to discuss. We're calling out the French, but how soon can we start calling out Britain, England, and its underhandedness, as Dr. Arikana will say it, in Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Gambia? When are we going to start lifting up those documents to see what kind of dirt, what kind of dirtiness is there? You see, we need to liberate our people through borderless Africa, and the conversation need to be to continue. We need to have these discussions openly so that our countries can be, rightfully managed. We have to be part of what is going on in our countries. We need to talk about all these things, the resources, our territories that we come from. If our chiefs are being handed over with a brown envelope, kick them out. Kick them out. If they're not going to be speaking on the behalf of the people, kick them out. And make off here. It's only people who carry the king. So if there are people, when the people leave you or leave your corrupt behind, then you are no longer a king. And make off here. So the people have to rise up and see whether their rulers who are sitting on various thrones are working for them or working against them. And again, my appeal to the MPs, especially Mr. Blackwell Okujeto, you have to be an activist for your people's land and how it benefits them within what the president called Ghana. And without the Western Togoland or the British Togoland, no matter how you want to call it, without it, the president say, we will never have a country called Ghana. That is a fact. Nobody's supposed to go to jail for speaking on those things. Nobody. Okay. And then talking about going forward, the class action. All the lawyers of Evwheh land, all the lawyers and friends of Evwheh people, good lawyers, should come together and file a class action lawsuit against VRA, People's Farm, People's aquaculture projects, fish farms, farms along the Volta, all these things, properties that are damaged, class action lawsuit. If you are a lawyer, call yours and feel you are a good lawyer, especially if you are an ever lawyer. Enough of the grandstanding. Wearing wig and black is not what it is. You are a lawyer for a reason. You are a lawyer for a reason. Come out and defend your people. Don't be part of a rot. Justice have to be served. VRA and the government should not be let loose for the crime of this magnitude. All lawyers, friends of Evwheh, and all the lawyers, the Akpalus, the Chikatas, all of you who think you are big, this is the time we should count your head. This is the time you have to come out tall as a legal practitioners. The time of practicing good law is now. It's now. Not grandstanding, not just passing the bar. No, this is not some photo op. Come out and defend your people against tyranny. Agokoli is in the land. Agokoli is a metaphor. Agokoli is a metaphor of bad, wicked rulership. Not to be Agokoli in Noche. I humble myself before your throne. To be Agokoli. Madetaguno. Mabibrano. Madetaguno. From here to Noche. I bow before your throne. But when we say Agokoli is a metaphor of wickedness, wickedness, rulership of wickedness. So now in Ghana, Agokoli is in the land for our people. Our people all the time hate bad rulership, wickedness, evilness from their leaders. Our people all the time want to be liberated people. They don't want to be slaves. Our people hate slavery. The Evwheh people hate slavery. That is why they invoke Agokoli, but Agokoli is a metaphor of a rulership, bedded in treacherous slavery. Wickedness. So Agokoli is in the land. That's the difference between the real Togbi Agokoli and the metaphor of invoking Agokoli. Agokoli is upon you people. So do everything to buff off this wickedness, this tyranny. You see, Agokoli is a metaphor for a rulership bedded in tyranny, and it's upon our people. So all the lawyers come out and relieve our people from this pharaoh and Agokoli.